Hi, this is Martin from Arcanum Vita. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good week. So this week we've got coming up to Equinox, or the spring equinox here in the Southern Hemisphere. We're at the turning point in the year where it's a time of major transition, moving out of the winter and the cooler months and the darker months, and now we start to see a predominance of light and energy, and everything starts to return, which is really cool. Like, if you think of equinox, like, it's traditionally associated with optimism and plans for the future, and thinking ahead and getting everything sort of up and running again, and it's a time where it's acknowledged that we've sort of come through a period of transformation or darkness, and a time of reflection, and now we can sort of move on and start afresh. So really, it is an optimistic time, and life is now changing gears again, and things are off and running. The thing about equinox is that it's essentially the night and day, and yin and yang, and positive and negative forces are in balance and harmony within nature. So it's like literally the sun is directly shining on the equator, so we're at this point of equilibrium. And if you think of it in terms of electromagnetics, like we literally are at this sort of equal point, and the upward forces and the downward forces are sort of in balance. So really, when you think of that, it's like seeing equinox as a time to find a new center or a new point of equilibrium, and in a way readjust to the flow of energy, where the earth tilts this way for half the year and then reaches a point of equilibrium and then sort of starts to tilt another way. So it's this readjustment that we're in at the moment, and with that, energetically, it does build a little bit of tension. There's a little bit of tenuousness or concentration around that energy as the wheel turns. There's like an inertia that sort of has to be overcome while we're changing our alignment, or changing our orientation to the sun. So the idea of it is that this tension, or this pendulousness that sort of builds around this time, is there to concentrate our energy, and is there to sort of refocus and recenter us, so that we can reorientate ourselves to the new alignment of the season and the new flow of energy and that type of thing. So the whole idea of it as well is that, being a time of transition, it really is about releasing from the old past season and embracing the new upcoming energy. And there's the spring cleaning idea. So it's really, equinox is a time of emptying out and clearing out and cutting away old attachments. Like, even in the garden, it's when we prune the trees and trim away all the dead wood so that the new growth can come forward, and that type of thing. So it's important to bear that in mind, because on one hand there might be a sort of a heaviness, or a sort of a challenge around that energy, but if you just see it as a shifting momentum and an opportunity to recenter and refocus and cut away old attachments and find that new lease on life, then by releasing, then we should stand in fairly good stead for the season ahead. But and underneath it all, like, energetically, if you look at that sort of energy around this transition and look at the aspects that are going on, there is this really, for the Virgo new moon, there's this really lovely harmonious aspect to Saturn. So it really, underneath it all, there is this sort of harmony there, and sort of inner sense of stability and balance that can really favour a longer term outlook around things. So if we start to see things less in the immediate sense of all the chaos and hustle and bustle, and just pick a path and pick our plan and sort of keep working at it, then we're really harmonizing with this energy. And when you think about it, if you've got a long-term plan, or if you know what you're doing in your goals and you've got ideas set, then chaos and disturbance takes on a different perspective, because we can adapt to it by seeing ourselves in a flow of things, or involved in a process, rather than sort of having to continually respond and adapt to changes and suddenness and things like that. So it's easier to incorporate things in that way. So this energy for the whole year really is about restructuring and forming a new longer term plan around things, and so a longer term outlook that has a more expansive and optimistic outlook around things. So but the key features are slow and steady and methodical and consistent, and just working at it and playing the long game. So I just thought it's good to bear that in mind. Like, as this equinox takes place, there's Mercury's in a bit of a challenging aspect to a few planets, and communications and our interactions and the way we sort of move around and exchange and that type of thing's got a few difficult aspects where we might be sort of potentially feel a little bit like limited in our communication, or there's a tendency around a little bit of negative thinking, or could get a little bit sort of feeling like we might be up against it a little bit in the way we're feeling that we're interacting or exchanging around things. But this is more, if you keep on the bright side or keep optimistic about things, this is really sort of taking us in, giving us a bit of a more of a closer internal look, so that we can concentrate and focus and sort of see a clear plan for ourselves, and break down or break away from anything that might be disempowering us around what we can set our minds to and achieve in this way. And the balance might need to be struck between feeling that we're heard and brewing on not being heard, or that type of stuff. But it's just about being clear and being concise and having a nice clear structure and a nice clear plan of how to set about things, and that way we won't be so caught up in responding, rather just working at integrating that in our plan and how we move forward. But again, this is just probably a little bit of a short term over the next 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, thereabouts. There's going to be sort of this little bit of tension around our interactions, but I see this too as part of the equinox energy as well, where we're going to feel a little bit kind of compressed, or agitated, or sort of charged up, really, as we sort of move away from an old season and move into a new season. And it ultimately is going to bring us back to a new center, where we can form and structure an outlook for the longer term ahead. But very nice energy. It's a very powerful time of year, equinox, and use it to clear out the cupboard and set new intentions for the future, and give yourself time and be patient and be optimistic, and look a bit more to the longer plan, and know that you're empowered to take steps to meet that. But hope that helps, and hope you have a great week, and thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you. Bye.